Xbox. When they first bought Bethesda and all those studios in 2018, I was excited because I felt like that was showing that they wanted to boost the amount of output that they're having when it comes to first party, and they wanted to make more of those type of games. That's when we started seeing Starfield exclusive. I remember there was a time where they actually cut a section out of an interview with Phil Spencer at IGN talking about whether or not Elder Scrolls 6 would be exclusive. And what ended up happening, there was a lot of leaks and rumors, and essentially them coming out and openly admitting Elder Scrolls is an exclusive to the Xbox platform. And we cheered because we want more of this stuff. We want to see uniqueness. We want to see new IPs. We want to see existing IPs that people love. And with the relationship between Bethesda and Microsoft, it made the most sense for Xbox to buy them. Fast forward a couple years. Then we're talking about Activision Blizzard King. You know, I have been very vocal on saying I didn't want this deal to happen. You know, I understand why they would go through with it, but I've been very vocal saying that this isn't a studio that, or a publishing outlet that benefits me, per se. Maybe it does benefit other people. Maybe some people like Codheads would love it. But I did understood from the perception mind. Xbox has a good amount of hardcore audience. The problem is they've been losing more and more casual audience for the past few years, few generations. And I expected this would be a time where when they get the Call of Duty marketing, they're able to do stuff with Call of Duty in general, put that in Game Pass. I felt like that would bring more people to the platform. Then what happens? They announced that Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded are all going to PlayStation and Switch, a variety of both, if not both. So, okay. That's another thing that didn't make sense. You know, we wanted these games to remain exclusive to bring more an audience to the Xbox platform. So now it's mixed messaging. We don't understand what's going on. You know, Microsoft's been very vocal on they want to keep expanding. So then after the ABK deal almost doesn't go through, but they eventually do get to go through, they start doing other stuff. You know, they let Toys for Bob become an independent developer. And now, today, I woke up to some crazy news. And what is that news, what you guys might be asking? It's Microsoft has laid off, they've laid off Arcane Austin, Tango Studios, and they've laid off a lot of other studios. You know, we'll go over it real quick. They got rid of Alpha Dog Studios, which I don't believe that's their actual physical name. But they did get rid of Roundhouse Games. Now, it didn't exactly go away. They are fusing that in with the ZeniMax Online Studios. So pretty much how we all finding this out is I don't think any of this necessarily is public. Now, I do think that some of the studios have came out forward saying that they have been, they've been closed. I believe Tango is one of them. So right now what we're at is what is going on at Xbox. Because one of the biggest things that I enjoyed is they had all these studios that they could start using and utilizing to make these IPs, to make IPs that's been out before, to make newer IPs, to make sequels of games that do well. Now, Tango Studios. Tango Studios is the studio behind Hi-Fi Rush. Was that a massive successful game in terms of commercial? Probably not. But I did feel, this is just me, that it was the opening to something special where maybe a sequel or maybe, a more money plastered into the brand could actually make it a more selling, compelling brand. Now, obviously, shadow dropping this game in hindsight probably wasn't the smartest idea they've done. I do think at the time it made sense because it surprised people at the show. Oh, we can go play this game right now. It gave a like a jolt in the industry because this never really is done to this degree. But looking back, because I know there was some leaks that saying that Hi-Fi Rush initially had some form of marketing for the E3 that was canceled because of the pandemic, that because they couldn't be there, they went ahead and pushed it forward and let it shadow drop on this day. Now, I think this game's phenomenal. And I think Tango Gameworks is a gem that could be nurtured. And not to mention, Phil Spencer came out openly and said that, one of the studios that they have bought that he looks forward to is Tango Gameworks, because they're able to go and have a foothold in Japan in some way, shape, or form, because they don't really have a foothold there. Well, they just shut down the only one there. Now, people love The Evil Within. People love Prey. People loved all these games, and I feel like Bethesda has done good producing good games. Now, obviously, commercial-wise, we ain't gonna sit here and try to front, okay? Tango, Austin, Arcane Austin, these studios produce good games besides maybe Redfall, because that was a lot of variables that we can't really go over 100% because we don't have all the information. But they never really generated huge sources of money. And I think we can all agree on that. But here's the thing. Even though these studios haven't produced mad amounts of money, I thought that's what Game Pass was for. We're able to use the revenue that goes into Game Pass to fund these smaller titles. That's what I was under the impression. And that's what I felt like Microsoft's messaging was strong early this gen, late last gen. And now we're seeing some of the smaller studios get shut down. See, I didn't like when we saw, Toys for Bob go spin off into its own independent thing. Maybe that they were going to be part of this. But instead of being part of this, they went in and negotiated becoming an independent studio. It's just frustrating, man, because it's just like, I see Microsoft looking to me like they're getting in a better place. They're having the studios they need to produce content regularly. They're able to give Game Pass the influx of games that they need on and off. And then I see something like this and I'm just like, what's going on? Did something happen after ABK? Because there was rumors ABK, if it didn't go through, Microsoft didn't know what to do with Xbox or something. I can't remember the wording. Maybe someone put in the comment section what the wording was. And a lot of people, they disproved that as like speculation. Like no one knew what was going on. Maybe there was some truth to that. Maybe Microsoft was putting Xbox on the chopping block if they didn't get ABK. I've been very vocal on whether or not I believe they're going third party. And I still think to some degrees they are having third party conversations in those executive rooms. When we saw games like Hi-Fi Rush go over to PlayStation, I thought that was good for the brand at least. That means Hi-Fi Rush is going to get a sequel at the very least, because at least Hi-Fi Rush is on another platform to get more money in the long term. But things like this, man, it's just frustrating because it's just like being an Xbox fan for all these years and finally seeing them put the building blocks up one by one and thinking that they're going to finally use this platform to get themselves in a better position. And then seeing just because ABK was bought, to me, looking like they changed it over there drastically, just disappointing, man. Put in the comment section below what you guys feel about this. Is this the end of the world? No. Most likely these studios we're going to get closed if Microsoft never bought them. I'm confident in that for the most part. But it is frustrating that, Hi-Fi Rush was a success, maybe critically but not commercially. But I feel like you could have built onto that. What would the Uncharted franchise be without 1? What would God of War be without 2? It's just sometimes the first one is your landscape to build the second one to actually captivate people. And the fact that this game was shadow dropped made me feel like it got a little bit more of an excuse. But in corporate, man, they don't care about stuff like that, unfortunately. But, tell me what you guys feel in the comment section below. I'm very curious your guys' opinion. Until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.